Welcome to Inside the 12. If you are looking for the epicenter of the college basketball universe, you found it. We actually have a jam-packed show. A lot of people say that. We got a jam-packed show. No, we have a jam-packed show. We're talking about the last week of the regular season. A men's crown for the regular season in the Big 12, and we take you to Kansas City, a brand new court. We check in on the women's college basketball Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. But now it's time to introduce you to our starting lineup. We got King McClure, a Baylor legend, and we got the former Oklahoma State baller Austin Ivan back with us again.
Thank you for having me.
Tremendous addition to the squad, and I think a tremendous addition to the Big 12 a few years ago was Arizona. They have planted their flag as the best team in the regular season. Austin, I know you love Jaden Bradley and the way he operates with that senior leadership.
I really do, and I think that is so important in a year where the spotlight has been on so many incredible, talented freshmen across the country. Jaden Bradley has proved why experience matters. When you get to March, elite guard play gets you wins. He has been so consistent for this team. He is the one that brings all the pieces together.
And King, I know you play a little bit of defense, right? And you gotta love the defense that Arizona is playing. I mean, against Iowa State, they hold them with 29% shooting from the floor.
Well, it starts with the point of attack. To Austin's point, when you talk about Jaden Bradley and what he does on offense, well, you have to look at what he does defensively, because everything starts with your point guard, right? Your ability to be able to jam the basketball and stop the initial attack and transition, that starts from your point guard, and that's Jaden Bradley. He stays in front of the basketball. He doesn't allow any blow-bys, and when he does a tremendous job. People don't talk about this. There's a tremendous job of riding the hip of the offensive player and sending him into the bigs of Krivas, into Awaka, and defensively, he takes his team to a different level. I mean, when you look at what he does with Braden Burries also, I mean, his leadership is what honestly influences some of these young guys to be ready, to be locked in these moments down the stretch.
Austin, I want to get to you and what you think is the most impressive thing about Arizona. But, King, I do want to touch on the fact that when you look at Arizona's roster, they got a lot of dudes coming back, along with the prolific freshmen. How important is that in today's college basketball to have guys that know each other, the cohesion? Senior night was cool because it was an actual senior night.
It's massive, but, Peter, I don't know if some of these freshmen are coming back. I mean, when you look at what Aristotle has done, especially in that last game, the way that his size, his physicality, his ability to be able to shoot the ball, I don't know if you're going to have all four freshmen back. They all might be gone, right? Tommy Lloyd might have to do a tremendous job in the portal this year because he has a team full of dudes who the NBA scouts are literally licking their chops over.
Yeah, and by the way, that's one of the reasons I can't wait for the Big 12 tournament. We'll have like half the lottery, but all together there in Kansas City. What jumps out off the page for you, I should say, about Arizona this year, Austin?
I mean, how many different players have we already talked about? It's the balance that they have. Tommy Lloyd said he believes he has 8 starters, and I agree with him. All 5 of his starters average double figures. Then he has someone like Awaka. What a luxury to have him come off the bench, average nearly a double-double. And then you pair that with the consistency. They have not had very many off nights, and I think that blend is what's going to get them really far in the postseason.
But to your point, part of the reason why you have so much consistency is because the way they play the game. Right? They're not a team that shoots a lot of threes. They are 363rd in the country out of 365 in teams who shoot the three, right? 3-point field goal attempts per field goal attempts that you take, right? So that travels. No matter what you do, you're not relying on your 3-point shot. And then you have 2 big fellas down low in your front court who are absolutely dominant. And that's where we're going to go today. Roll the film, right? We're going inside the game presented by New Era. And Krivas and Awaka changed the game. Krivas has gotten so much better on the defensive side. That's where he's taking his biggest jump. And then when you have a guy like Awaka, like Austin alluded to earlier, that comes off the bench and gets every single rebound, that is a man amongst boys. This Arizona team is 3rd in the country in offensive rebound percentage, top 25 in defensive rebounding percentage, and it's primarily due to these 2 monsters. They have 2 grown men down low that dominate the game, and they wear you down in a 40-minute contest.
The offensive rebounds by Awaka is only outshined by the fact that Mo Krivas could be the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, truly, he's making a push for that.
And nobody talks about that enough, right? Everybody talks about the rebounding, which, yes, that's tremendous. But what Mo Krivas can do on the defensive side, the way that he blocks shots, the way that he didn't even have to block them, but he alters them just because he's so big, and the thought of him when you're going to the rim being like, oh, snap, I got to finish this over Krivas, right? The way that he changes your mind as an offensive player, that doesn't get talked about enough. So Mo Krivas Davis should at least be in the contest for Defensive Player of the Year. But Dunga's another guy who I might throw in there as well.
Yeah,
Austin,
as a small guard, you think about that when you're driving into the lane. You're like, oh gosh, no, I can't shoot it. I'm going to have to dish it back out. So truly altering what the opponents have to do.
One of the best combo guards out of the state of Oklahoma, by the way, years ago. Not that long ago, by the way. Hey, Austin, what is their ceiling for Arizona?
I mean, I truly think that this is a team that could go all the way. I mean, King, do you know the last time that Arizona made it to the Final Four?
It was Richard Jefferson.
2001.
Mike Bibby. They're in that.
25 years ago.
Yes.
This fan base is desperate to have the program get back there, and I think this team is built for that. I think that they can not just reach the Final Four; they could win it all. I love this team, what they're doing. They have all the right pieces, and I think they can go all the way.
And quickly, one of the reasons they could go all the way is Tommy Lloyd. We got to tip our cap to one of the best coaches in college basketball right now. 140th win the other night against Iowa State in just 5 years. The quickest coach to do that in college basketball history.
Sheesh, that's a lot of success.
It's a lot of success.
That's a lot of success. Shout out to Tommy Lloyd, man.
You think about a lot of head coaches, and they start at smaller schools. They have to work their way up. He didn't have to do that, but he had a smaller margin for error and higher expectations, and he met them in the last 5 years, certainly.
To be able to cross that bridge and that transition like he's done, like John Shire has done, absolutely unbelievable. All right, we're going to step aside, and we're going to come back with some of the women's basketball trophies, honors. We got it all. Olivia Miles, of course, we're talking about her. The Big 12, inside the 12, rolls on. Get that out of here. We'll be right back after this.
Chris, we are so excited about this floor. We've gotten a great look at it the first game, now here in the halftime of the second game. What's the overall reaction been like so far from players and coaches?
It's been really amazing. It's really great to get the women on the court. I had the privilege of working with the majority of the Big 12 teams prior to the tournament. A lot of them came through our Orlando facility, and I got the player feedback, the coaching feedback, the athletic director feedback. It's been nothing but great.
Welcome back to Inside the 12, and this is it, the glorious, stunning glass LED floor in Kansas City at the Big 12 tournament. You know, my question for you, King, I know you scored a lot of points, but would you be scoring points or checking your reflection in the glass floor? Because you're a smooth dude, too.
A mix of both. I might hit a shot and look down and just, see how I look in the glass floor.
That'd be pretty cool. What are your thoughts about it, Austin? It certainly looks good.
It's awesome. I mean, it would have been cool to play on a court like that.
Yeah.
Brett Yormark, an absolute mastermind when it comes to marketing. Credit to him for just continuing to find ways to elevate the Big 12 Conference.
One of the things, I heard Chris Thornton from ASB Glass, he was on with our friends on Big 12 today, and he mentioned, it looks like, there's a lot of hullabaloo around the actual look of it, but it's for X's and O's wise. Like, I guess there's stuff you can do, like as far as like for coaches and diagramming plays, and apparently the floor is better for athletes to play on, so it's really innovative.
I just hope it doesn't get hacked.
I have seen people worried about that.
Oh my God, you guys, man. Oh Lord, please don't speak that into existence. All right, let's talk about the Big 12 women's game. We've got a lot of accolades that have already been handed out to take a look at and to cover, but let's throw it up right now. Some of these postseason awards, as we look at some of these, right, you see Olivia Miles, you see Jalea Davis. We're not talking about Miles Davis, but it is as smooth as jazz, these two. What are your thoughts about this Big 12 season for the women?
I mean, it's just like the men's. This conference on the women's side is so competitive. They've been beating up on each other all season, and that's only going to make them better once they get to the postseason tournament. I like a team that's gone through a little bit of adversity. All these teams have, but they have some great players across the conference.
When you look at it, who jumps out at you, King?
Olivia Miles. I mean, no doubt in my mind. I mean, her ability to be able to lead, to be able to make everybody around her better, she's been phenomenal. Some of her tough shot making, she is primetime television. When you talk about men's versus women, it does not care. TCU is back-to-back Big 12 champions with a chance to be able to make it very, very far in the NCAA tournament. Best hoopers in college basketball, period, that's Olivia Miles.
She's impossible not to love.
One of the best.
Yes, and one of the most interesting and colorful, and yeah, she gets buckets too. Texas Tech, I know they have really impressed you this year.
They have. I mean, you think back to before the season. They were picked preseason 13.
Wow.
And you know why I know that? Is because Coach Gerlich said, She's a big Taylor Swift fan. And Swifties.
No, there will be no Taylor Swift talk on this show. We would not do that.
I'm not saying I'm a Swiftie, but Coach Gerlich is, and that is Taylor Swift's number. So she went to her team and she said, hey, look, we are picked number 13. Let's go prove some people wrong. And they have continued to do that throughout the season. And then I also love Sonetta Collins. You guys, she wasn't playing basketball last year. She was selling cars. What an incredible story. She takes a year off of basketball, has a renewed sense of purpose. She is thriving with this team, and what a luxury it is for her to come off the bench, be the sixth man. But just crazy to think about. 1 year ago, she was out selling cars, not even playing basketball.
How about that? I'm in the market for a car, too. I could have used her last year. By the way, King, I mean, Texas Tech, the women's, they did lose early in the tournament, but they'll shake it off, right?
Get it?
All right, I'm sorry about that. The Big 12 men's tournament preview. Come on, Austin, right here.
No, that was good. That was good.
I hated everything about that.
All right, we're getting to the Big 12 men's tournament after this. We're going to Kansas City to talk about the guys and legends like Kelvin Sampson. Can the Cougs repeat? We'll talk about it. Badooga! Inside the 12 is brought to you by Hell of a Good Dip, and it's time for Hell of a Good Dip's game-breaking plays. Game on, dip in. How about some threes? I mean, it was the Kansas State three party. This was at the Big 12 tournament. These young women, 17 three-pointers. Freshman Jordan Spicer starts it off. She came off the bench and went 6 of 8.
Let's take it to Manhattan because Nate Johnson is giving us his best Jason Williams impression with the nice little behind the back to the easy layup.
Okay, and then check this one out. Noah Mausen with a no-look pass. Santiago Truitt on the receiving end of the dish. You gotta always be ready. You never know when the ball's coming to you.
Maybe Mausen was winking at Bobby Hurley right there because he definitely wasn't looking at his teammate. How about Jaden Bradley? We've been talking about Arizona setting up Koa Pete. Yeah, he's back, folks, with the Thunder. Party out in Tucson over the weekend. Arizona looking very, very good. And they'll probably be looking good at the Big 12 tournament, right? The Phillips 66 Big 12 men's basketball tournament tips off March 10th to the 14th at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. You can still get your tickets online. We talk about that tournament. Austin Ivan, King McClure are back with us again. I'm Pete Souza. So excited for that tournament. And who do you think, Austin, is a favorite?
I like Houston. They have elite guard play, they have solid defense, and they have a great coach. So I think that trio is going to win you a lot of games. They have Milos Uzan, Emmanuel Sharp, who started in the national championship game last year. You pair that with the defense. They've turned opponents over at a higher rate than anyone else in the Big 12. And then you have someone like Coach Sampson, a Hall of Fame coach.
Well, I know between the two of you, Coach Sampson is big fans of both of y'all, King and Austin. But Austin, you like Houston. King, you're not so sure.
It's not that I'm not so sure. It's the fact that their offense scares me a little bit. And because last year, you mentioned it, Pete, we were in break. The one thing that they had was an inside threat, right? When everything broke down, what did they do? They got the ball inside to Jawan Roberts. Because Houston relies on a lot of bad shots on the offensive side, but when things get chaotic, when they want to settle in, they throw the ball at Jawan Roberts, right? And you instantly create an advantage, whether that be one-on-one in the post, or they send the double and he can kick out for easier looks. Well, this year, they don't have that guy. JoJo Tugler's not a guy that you want to throw the ball into consistently. Chris Sinak has shown that he's not that guy. So I think a lot of times when you look at Kingston Flemings in like his last 5 games, his efficiency hasn't been there. And part of the reason is because everything is clogged. There's not any driving lanes. He can't do what he does best because there's no easy outlets for them to be able to get the ball into. So as a result of that, I think defensively it always travels. That's their bread and butter. So I think their offense scares me a little bit, but Kelvin Sampson did a tremendous job by flashing the big high and now just playing off of that, a lot more movement, a lot more cutting. Kelvin Sampson will figure it out, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean,
who's got to score? Who's got to score for them?
It has to be Kingston Flemings. He is a playmaker. Nothing has phased him. He has ice in his veins, and I think he's a guy that can get hot and carry this team a long ways.
He is, and he's growing before our eyes every game. We could see him just totally jump to the next level in this tournament. King, who you like?
I like Cincinnati, and not necessarily to win the tournament, all right? Hear me out. Not necessarily to win the tournament, but to make some noise. They won their last 6 out of 7. Where's my ISO? Give me my ISO.
Oh, no. Here we go. Sorry, Austin.
I know.
Listen, Wes Miller, okay? He has done a tremendous job and is not getting enough love for the turnaround that he has been able to create with this team. Right? Everybody gave him a lot of heat. They gave him a lot of flack for all the losses that they took early on, but nobody is giving him praise, and nobody is telling him how good he is for turning it around and changing the offense and letting them be more free. Good coaches adapt and they adjust. Wes Miller is not getting the praise that he deserves for this win streak that they are on. And if they win 2 games, like they win this TCU game, and they possibly get 1 or 2 in the tournament, this team is an NCAA tournament team, and the whole Cincinnati fan base better apologize to Wes Miller.
Well, I think the thing, I can back you on this, but I think the thing is, we talk about the tournament, a lot of teams, they want to get a bye and not play that first day. It could benefit Cincinnati if they play the first day. If they're that 9 or 10 seed, they should win that matchup. They move on to the next day. They're going to play, an 8 seed? They could win that. Then you play the 1 seed, yes, but you got 2 wins in the Big 12 tournament, and I think that's going to really help them because they are in the bubble right now.
Yeah, but you better win that game, though.
If you lose,
you better win, because if you lose that first game, that could hurt you. You're done.
No, you're
Your
out.
season's
I think
over
you're
with.
out, yep.
And you have to give Wes Miller credit. I'll back you up too, King. And we love Jerome Tang, but both of those coaches were on the brink early this year. We know what happened at Kansas State. For Wes Miller to turn it back around and make this push is extremely notable. And I can say from the tournament perspective, I got a chance to talk to bracketologist Jerry Palm earlier this week, and he said those wins on neutral floors actually help you all a little bit more if you win those games in tournaments than as winning at home or winning on the road. So that's important.
Yeah, very important. And I think they have the right trajectory right now. It's all about peaking at the right time. Like you said, Cincinnati is doing just that.
Yeah, these tournament games are opportunities. All right, when we come back, before we get to the Big 12 tournament, we are going to talk about some of the final games of this weekend, the full slate, when we come back on Inside the 12. Inside the 12 is brought to you by Hell of a Good Dip. Game on, dip in with Hell of a Good. Now, before we get to the altar, right, and go to Kansas City for the Big 12 Men's Championship Tournament, let's take a look at games coming up this week. Here's the upcoming slate. I'm excited for Utah-Baylor. I'm going to be on the call for that game, so I look forward to that with our friends at Peacock. Some other games to take a look at. Arizona State, they travel to Iowa State. Arizona State's been playing pretty well with that win over Kansas. That game's at 2 p.m. Eastern time on FS1. Kansas State and Kansas, hey, Sunflower Showdown, 2 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. And number 2, Arizona, heading to Boulder to take on Colorado. That's at 11 Eastern time on ESPN2. So get the caffeine going or whatever it is that keeps you up.
Yeah, you're going to get some coffee.
You're going to be up late. King McClure, Austin Ivan, I'm Pete Souza. We're taking a look ahead at some of the games this weekend on Inside the 12. Let's start with Houston and Oklahoma State. That's Saturday, noon Eastern time on CBS. Austin, your thoughts. Let's start with you.
I mean, I think OSU has a little bit of life left, and maybe they're playing for Parsifala, who just got hurt, isn't finishing out the season. But I do think Houston's going to come to Stillwater, take care of business. They didn't play great their last game, but you know Coach Sampson's going to find a way. It might not be the prettiest game, and they might be thinking ahead, but I think they're going to find a way to get the one last win before the tournament.
Yeah, this is a game where it's like a tune-up game for Houston. You go in there and you want to gain some momentum, right? You went down that 3-game skid where you lost back-to-back, and you finally won 2 in a row. So now you go on the road against Oklahoma State, who's not a bad team by any means, but this is the time when you start gaining some momentum to go into the Big 12 tournament next week and then ultimately in the NCAA tournament.
Hold on, I think that's Oklahoma State's basketball ops. We're going to send them that clip. A tune-up game so they can get ready for this one. All right, how about Cincinnati? That's King's squad. They take on TCU. By the way, TCU has been playing so well lately. That win against Texas Tech probably solidifies them in the NCAA tournament. This game's on 2 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, TNT and True TV. King, I'll start with you with this one. What does Cincinnati have to do? They make a push now. They win this game. They're one step closer.
Well, it's the battle of the front courts for me. I mean, when you look at what TCU has done, I said on air, I had them against Kansas State last week. I said that they have the most underrated front court in the Big 12.
Yes.
When we talk about the all-newcomer team, Xavier Edmonds is a guy who has to be on there. And I had him and I had Baba Miller on that same team, right? So Xavier Edmonds, the way that he's been playing for TCU, David Punch has been a little up and down, but Edmonds has been that consistent threat, right? But now you're going up against 2 7-footers in Mustafa Cham and Baba Miller, who Baba Miller might be the most versatile player, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. So I think that battle of the front court, right? Whoever's front court plays better wins this game, but this is the marquee game for Saturday. This is the game that you need to watch because both teams need it. Cincinnati needs it a little bit more, but both teams need this game.
Yeah, that's the game where you're right. I mean, it jumps off the page at you. This has postseason implications. How about you, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, both teams, great trajectory right now. They're playing well. I love the 1-2 punch of Punch and Edmonds like you were talking about. I think they're confident.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But I think TCU is really confident. They're going to be hard to beat at home, but Cincinnati certainly has a lot to play for.
Are we sleeping on both these teams? I'm looking at the stats. TCU's won 7 of their last 8 in the Big 12. I mean, we've seen teams like Kansas lose a couple straight, right? These teams go up and down. Both of these teams are playing well above what we're talking.
2 of the hottest in the conference. Yeah.
2 of the hottest teams.
Nobody, like I said earlier, nobody's giving Wes Miller his praises. Nobody's also singing Jamie Dixon's praises.
Yeah.
Jamie Dixon is a great coach who's been in this game for a little minute. And everybody's giving him slack. All I'm saying is these fan bases, if they make it to the tournament and win some games, y'all better be apologizing. I need that criticism. I need the praise to be as loud as the criticism.
I totally agree with Jamie Dixon, too. 4 of 5 years, they'll have made the NCAA tournament. 4 of the last 5, if they can break it in this year. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, another big game. Number 10, Texas Tech travels to BYU. 10:30 Eastern time on ESPN on Saturday. Has BYU hit bottom?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you think about it. To lose a piece of Richie Saunders, typically anytime you lose your star player, it's going to hurt. Richie Saunders embodies what BYU is about. So it's more than just losing a player. You're losing the heart and soul of BYU basketball. So, yes, I think it's going to be tough for them to have success moving forward. Kennard Davis hasn't really stepped up and been the dude that we needed him to be with Richie Saunders being out. So, yes, it's A.J. DeBonta and it's Rob Wright. Please go get 50 a night to give us a chance to win, right? So I do think that they've hit rock bottom and they're going to struggle moving forward.
I agree. He's the glue player, and for Texas Tech, that's JT Toppin. So both of these teams trying to adapt without a very integral part to the puzzle. So we'll see what adjustments they've made. Texas Tech has had not as long to play without JT Toppin, where BYU's just still hasn't figured it out, and they've had longer to do it.
That is an excellent point about the fact that these are 2 of the biggest losses in the conference right now, JT Toppin and Richie Saunders. Texas Tech has actually played better without their number 1. I know you're a big fan of what Jeff Linder's doing. He needs to be careful. The phone's going to start ringing for that dude. It probably already is, right? Grant McCausland. At least we know they have money at that Matador Club, right? They'll have to keep him there. He's one of your favorite assistants.
One of my favorite assistants, and you're right. I'm sure the phone is ringing. But Grant McCausland is not letting Jeff Linder leave.
Yeah.
I assure you of that. I assure you whatever offer is on the table, hey, we're gonna match that. We will match that. If you can get Kennedy from the softball team money, if you can get JT Toppin that same
he's
amount.
He's already going now. He's negotiating.
Look, you can't lose Jeff Linder.
Yeah.
Because what he's done in the last 3 out of 4 games without JT Toppin, how he's transformed the offense and made the adjustment to do what they do best without JT, which is shoot the 3, space the floor. I think I've been extremely impressed. And I do think they win this game in BYU because it's a bounce-back game.
By the way, those negotiations, they sound like the same ones that took us to get Austin Ivan here with us, She's a tough sell, let me tell you. All right, Inside the 12, we'll be back next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you at the Big 12 tournament. Enjoy all the games this weekend.